So we're very fortunate to have her give us some of her time. And tonight she is going to show us her watercolor skills. And I believe she's going to paint a horse. Is that correct? But Yelena, if you are ready, please come on, and we're all ears.
I think Kim said like pretty much like everything about me, like where I'm from and what I'm doing, and so many nice things. Anyways, yes, as Kim said, I'm like I paint in oil and also watercolor, and I think until like recently watercolor was kind of like secondary for me, even though it's probably like obviously like I started with watercolor as a child, and one of the paintings I did, it was a portrait of my cat, and I painted it when I was like maybe 10 years old. So it was my mom's like very favorite painting, and like it's in my parents' house, and my mom always like no matter what I painted, like she was comparing it to that painting of my cat I painted like when I was 10, and it's like she said, oh okay, it's almost as good as that portrait. So that was like the highest praise. And so yes, I guess I started many years ago with watercolor and with animal portraits. So it's kind of like logical that now I'm like painting more watercolor and kind of like uh, painting animal portraits like almost full time now. So what else for watercolor? Yes, I joined Pittsburgh Watercolor Society in late 2019. And I guess at that point, I think I started taking watercolor like more seriously, even though I always admired the medium. So with Pittsburgh Watercolor Society, I entered 4 shows in 2020 and got first place award in 2 of these shows. So that was kind of shocking, like for me, but also, yeah, very exciting. So right now, yes, right now the again Pittsburgh Watercolor Society's Waterworks, they just wrapped up at North Hills Art Center, and my piece there got People's Choice Award, which like, makes me so happy. and and right now I have 3 watercolors there for the uh, for the show, for Inspired by Nature show at the North Hills Art Center. So what else is going now in terms of watercolors? Not that much. I paint portraits in oils. Right now, one of my pieces got into Oil Painters of America. Kim mentioned that I'm a member there. Their national exhibition, that's the first one for me, and that's again very exciting. So for today's demo, let's switch to today's demo. By the way, guys, how much time I have for this demo now?
You can, we normally go for about an hour on the demos. So as you know, however you would like to do it, we can have you demo. Do you want, are you okay if we ask questions as you are doing this?
Oh, sure, absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
Keep talking to me.
Just unmute yourself and you can ask your question directly, or you can also add things into the chat if you would like, and I can pass those along to Yelena, whichever you would prefer.
Yes, please, guys. Yeah, so I'll just start painting here and just, yeah, ask any questions. It will like, you know, help me to find good, like, you know, topics to talk about. And what I want to do now, I want to, here we go. How can I do it? Okay, I'm putting, okay, Okay, this is, okay, I just put a photo in chat. So that's the one I'm going to use as a reference for this demo. And I'm gonna kind of like, like base it loosely on this reference. I think I want to make it brighter. I'll try to give it even like more contrast. I think I'm gonna use some brighter colors on this one. So that's the picture I took this past fall in Ossatic Island. We went there with my friends camping, and that was like quite a journey. It was an adventure because when we came there, like just before we went, it was like 75 and sunny. And after we left, it was 75 and sunny. But like for 3 days, we were supposed to be there. It was like, I think it was like an aftermath of Hurricane Sandy or something like that, that was happening on the opposite coast. But like, so it was like 20 to 30 miles per hour of winds, rain, anyways, and here we are with our tents. But we managed, it was fun. And the weather actually, it became better. It was still very chilly, but eventually it's, yes, well, it was interesting. Okay, so for this view, so, and I know you guys have, like, I'm here as 2 people today, so you have my overhead and my front camera. So I guess you can toggle between them.
Right, I'm gonna spotlight back and forth between
Okay.
your
Mhm.
the 2 different views for people.
Okay, thanks, Debbie. So you, yes. Okay, so I won't pay attention. So your judgment, and you can, toggle between them. So I'll just start here with a little sketch. I think I will maybe a little more of a sky. And okay, I changed my mind. I want less of the sky. See, that's what always happens to me. Like I start something, I was like, that's what I'm gonna do. No, it's not gonna work. Yep. And the horses, I want to make them maybe a little larger.
Yelena, I have a question.
Yes.
So when you, as far as reference material, what attracts you to like a photo to say, you know what, I would love to paint this? And, what do you look for in subject
In the
material?
photograph, like any photograph or like this particular one? That's an interesting question. And sometimes it's really hard to say. Sometimes I look at the like photos like multiple times, and I'm trying to find something that I want to paint. And like one day I won't even look at this photograph, but maybe like another day I look at it and it's like, oh, there's something in it. So sometimes it's just the mood of it. Sometimes it's like, sometimes colors, sometimes light, sometimes it's like just, like I'm thinking, oh, like, that's like, nice subject. Maybe I want to change something in it. So it's like really like it could be a bunch of different things.
Do you alter the photographs at all prior to using them, like crop them or filter them or?
Yes, it also it depends. Like this one, that's like unedited at all. So I just like looked at it today in the morning and I was like, oh, I might do this one. So I did not crop it or haven't done anything to it. So I'm actually kind of like, I think, changing things around here.
Could we see the picture that you're sketching from?
I put it in the chat.
If you go into your chat and double click on that image, it will download and open on your computer. Can you see the chat window on the side?
I have it on my desktop if you want to do a quickie screen share.
Go ahead, Kim, screen share.
There it is. Can everybody see that?
Yep.
That's what she's doing.
If you want to take a screen cap of that, oh.
You want it back?
Well, does anybody want to take a screen cap, or can they access the JPEG image that's in the chat?
I mean, that's it.
Everybody okay?
You okay with that?
Hey, everybody got it?
Yep.
I think we're good.
Okay.
Good. Yeah, and again, it's like what I'm trying to do here, it's gonna be like based on this photo, but I'm changing things around. So my borders are going to be larger. So it's like maybe like closer crop. And it's different, like they're also like the water level, like the this water line goes down lower, so there's like more of a force is going to overlap this whatever water behind it. So what I love about watercolor, and it scares me at the same time, it's like I never know what to expect. Like I have no idea. With oil, it's like everything it's easier. It's like I know I can always like get to the results I want with oil painting. But with watercolor, it's so much more like intriguing. So each and every time it's like it's an experiment.
What type of paper do you use?
This is Arches cold press, 140, and I really like it. I tried few different, including like this old cotton Indian, whatever the name is, paper, and that's like really is sucking in the colors. I think these arches, it's to me, it's kind of like a good balance between, you know, keeping the colors vibrant, which is important for me, yeah, and allowing for like some corrections, not much, but some. And well, yeah, that's about it, because like what I don't really like when the paper like takes too much, like, you know, too much water and too much of like color intensity. Because like on some papers, colors just like, you know, you're painting something bright and then it dries and then it's like so dull and like loses all contrast. So that's what I don't like when it happens.
Is that a Ticonderoga pencil you're using?
You know, this is like, yeah, it is. I had no idea.
That is my all-time favorite pencil.
Great.
Kim, me too.
I mean, I prefer them over drawing pencils.
You know, that's funny because I don't do like too much of pencil drawings. So I think somebody gave me a box of this. Like I like, yeah, oh okay, some graphite pencils. I like throw them in a drawer and just take one when I need it, and never looked at, like, you know, like never gave it another thought.
But they erase well.
They erase well, yes. Yeah, I mean it works. That's I
just thought it was funny to see you using it.
Yeah, thank you. That's funny. Okay, so I think I kind of like got like, I think I want this, whatever it is, give it like this bushes or something. We put more on this side. Okay, I think that's it for the composition. And can start painting now and see what happens. Okay, so each and every time it's always like, what should I start with? Yeah, I know I should start with light colors, but like where, when? So I guess it's easier for me to like start with the sky. Go to the sky, just some water on it. Wet. And like that, going in some colors. These brushes, I really like them. This is Squirrel from Dick Blick. What I don't like about these brushes that they may leave some hair. They shed. Somehow I still like them and keep using them. I can lift some paint while it's still wet. So that's what I like about this paper. So it's like, for that's like just with dry brush.
Do you find you use a different color palette from oil to watercolor?
Yes, actually, like for watercolor, I use anything and everything, anything I can find, and experiment with different colors, and and that's fun. And for oils, I'm kind of like settled on a certain palette that I picked from an artist. Her name is Jennifer Janelli. She's painting animal portraits, like maybe like Trayvon is into animal portraits. She's on Instagram and she has like I don't know how many millions of followers, maybe not millions, but at least like maybe 300,000. And I took her workshop, so she introduced us to the palette she's using, and I kind of got hooked. Like it's like really this palette is like it works well. I altered it just a little, like I added another color I use for underpainting, but kind of staying with it. While in watercolor, I use many different colors and sometimes just like white color. Like I just recently purchased a bunch of like really like bright, vibrant colors, which I have not experimented with them yet. So they're kind of waiting. think I need these right now. Why don't do another layer on water? I don't want to bleed. Do this kind more. So while this is drying, I think I can like put wash on the grass here, making sure not to block white parts on the horses.
Do you ever mask anything or do you just work?
Not on this one. I do mask sometimes, uh, but I really need to get new masking fluid. Because last time I put the masking fluid on and I could never take it off. So that was not fun. So like really need to get a new one. So if anyone has suggestions about like which masking fluid works best, I appreciate it because the one I had, I guess it was okay when so maybe it just got old. So I'm not sure what's the shelf life for this masking fluid product supposed to be. But it's like I think I used it before and it was okay, or maybe I just to applied too much of it last time, but it became one big mess.
Hmm.
So I honestly I think I think masking fluid it's fun, but I would honestly prefer if I don't really need to use it, I think I will just prefer to stay.
Would you just do another version of the painting again? Like if you decided it went too far and just redo it or?
Well, if I ruined it, but I still like the subject, I will just paint it again. If if it doesn't really matter, then it's like, oh well, okay, I'll just paint something different.
Are you strictly transparent color or will you use gouache or something to correct or cover?
I prefer it transparent. That's kind of that's what they taught me when I was a child and was painting the portrait of my cat, that watercolor is supposed to be transparent and paper is supposed to be your white. So so that's the way I like it. But let's say if I need some cat whiskers and and the masking fluid doesn't work, then I won't hesitate and will just use a thin white lines and put them in. Um, but I don't think I would really want to use white to correct anything on watercolor. I just don't think it works right when you do
Thank
it.
you.
It blocks paper. It's really kind of takes away, and it's every time I think that it's so noticeable. So I would rather just try to avoid it, and if I ruined it, then well, okay, I ruined it. But it's okay. No one like like my son says no one died, so it's okay. What's the problem? Everyone's still alive. So what? So I have no idea what's gonna come out of this one. Because yeah, like I never painted this one before. Like, and even if I had, like, each and every time it's like so much different. You know? thing. Okay. I can do something with this horses. Oh, this is dry. Well, this horse is going to bleed into the water. So these horses on Asatik Island, they're amazing creatures. They're wild. They are super smart. Our last morning there, they came to our camp, and I think, yes, a friend of mine, she didn't get the memo that you should put coolers in the car because horses can open it. So I guess she didn't believe that horses can open it because she couldn't. Because that cooler, it had like a button you have to press to open it. So it took her like forever to figure it out. But horses came and they just opened that cooler. They didn't break it, they opened it. And pretty much ate everything that was in there. They
I
didn't
thought that was
like
years.
they didn't like coffee, so they left the coffee out. So that made my friend happy. She was like, thank you, horses. They left her coffee. So they're like, I'm not sure how many horses on the island they have now. I think it was like about like 70 or 80.
Can you tell us what colors you're mixing to get those browns?
That's a very good question. But anyways, there is some, I think it's something like maybe like English red or something, ultramarine. Some, I think, what's this one? That's probably rose sienna. I'm really bad when it comes to like, you know, like remembering the names of colors, like unless it's something very basic. And I don't even know what I have here in this palette because like this set of like this watercolor set, it's like it's a Russian manufacturer, and I like this set because that's something I used 100 years ago in Russia, and they still make same watercolor sets. Only they actually added like a bunch of colors, like this funny colors I mentioned. That's like it came from there. And so anyways, I took them out of the box and lost all labels, and I bought, here's the palette. So it's Frank Webb's, and I really like it because it's like, so it's supposed to be for the, for liquid watercolors, but I just put the containers in there. So maybe at some point I'll switch to tubes. I need it darker here. Okay, to do something about this, guys. Okay, now back to what's happening here. Okay. Hey guys, are you still there?
Definitely still here, just, amazed at what you're coming up with.
Oh, thank you.
This
Because
is-
I was like, oh, maybe everybody left already and I'm still painting here.
I know, we're watching.
Good, thank you.
Questions, comments?
It's nice to see how you're creating interest where there really is kind of just a flat grassy area, and it looks so much better in watercolor.
Thank you. Yeah. Kind of like, I would like to take something that's may need, because you know what, when there is like a beautiful photograph that's just like so good on its own. So that's, I think, back to the question, like, how do I, select references? I don't really like to pick as a reference something that's just like, perfect picture on its own. Like, then why bother painting it? Like a couple more courses. I think I'm gonna leave them out. Just this one. Oops.
Someone had just commented that it's amazing because it seems like you've used the same brush through the whole thing.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a fine-
Guilty. It's the same brush through the whole thing.
So that's, yeah, it's amazing how you get the very fine lines and then the big areas with that one brush.
That's why I'm still using this brush. That's like my favorite. It's number 10, uh, Bleak Master Natural Pure Swirl. And like, yeah, that's why I'm still using it, even though it's like, sometimes it's shading on me, leaving hair, but it really has fine point and a full body. So it's like for like this kind of like medium size watercolors, it just works perfectly. Because I'm not good at switching brushes. Like same with oil. I'm kind of like I'm really doing like most of uh, like just most of the work just keeping like using same brush, just like cleaning it when I need to and using it. So yeah, that's why I still like this brush. I think I couldn't find any like I wasn't really looking, but the other brushes I have, they just don't have this fine point. So I think what I really love in watercolor, that's like that you can, just let the medium do its thing. And I mean, it's scary sometimes, but it's exciting. And I would never try to do like in like this watercolor something I do with oils. Like it's just like completely different medium. Uh, so like I know like some people are like who paint in both oil and watercolor. Sometimes it's like get even disappointed with watercolor because they just can't get same results. And to me it's completely different world. It's like it's parallel universe. So it's just different. It's probably gonna have like, yeah, maybe 3 here. Hey, I think I'm pretty much done with this one. So at this point, it's like, I can add something here, but then like, do I really need to?
That looks great.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you. So yeah, I think I'm just leaving it there. So now the exciting part is this one. That's my favorite. This is like my favorite thing to do because I think it's like it's magical. I don't know. Is it just me? But it's like, when I take off the masking tape, it's like one of a sudden everything looks so good.
Very nice.
Thank you very much. So, yep, that's all the landscape.
Much better looking than the photo.
It really is.
It is. It looks like
Yeah.
just a beautiful sunny day, like very pretty.
Yeah, like some sun, like maybe like not as gloomy as it was in the photo. I wanted to make it brighter. Yeah, so
Yeah, you improved the day.
Here we go.
Thank you. So I think that's what I like. I always like if like I use photo reference and I use photo references a lot. Like like I mean, who doesn't? But it's like each and every time I think it's important to paint. Yeah, I heard someone said like one artist, I forgot the name, but he was like, yeah, like you're using photo reference, but you are not painting this picture, you are painting the reason why you took this picture. So I think it like really makes sense.
Yeah, I think a lot of times people get so tied to their reference that they even paint the things that look odd in the reference rather than taking them out and improving the photo.
Yes, exactly. It's like, you know, you can't be a slave to your reference. Like even in painting from life, it's like you just can't like be a slave to what's in front of you. Just like you're creating your own thing, whatever it is. But it's like, that's the beauty of it. It doesn't have to be exactly like that, like there, like what it is there.
You're caught up in the detail.
Well, true. I mean, I'm guilty of it too. I do it all the time. I have to stop myself. That's what I also love about watercolor. It's just like you have to stop there because at some point you just like start ruining it. So it actually helps me then with like oil painting that like, you know, like don't like try to make it perfect. So this perfectionism, it's like it's killing us. Like, have to fight it.
Beautiful.
Thanks so much. Thank you. So yeah, guys, any other questions? Anybody? Because I think I'm almost like holding you here for too long.
No, that's fine. I was just reading some of the comments. We have one that it was amazing to watch the transformation. And then inspiration, watching the softening of the edges throughout the demonstration.
Yeah, thank you.
And I agree. I agree, Josette. Like you can tell, you need to be more patient with the drying time. I have that same issue when I'm doing watercolor. I like the way that you let the water line all dry in the background, and then you came back in and cut in that little bit of land to the left. So
Yes, it's true. I mean, it's like it takes some planning, even if you don't know what's going to happen, you still have to plan for this thing. And yes, like wait for it to dry and like paint, like, you know, just put it aside or paint something like another area while it's drying. And sometimes with like, you know, with this format, I'm painting two at the same time. So just like, you know, like put it on the board, like put like, you know, this like double of this size and the masking tape in the middle, and can like work simultaneously on two watercolors.
But you have some pieces at the art center that are much larger than that.
Yes.
How do you, like when you're working something so big, do you try to keep it wet or just do sections or sections?
Yes, the sections. It's like you work on a section, then like sometimes like, well, sometimes you like, you know, you cover larger area, but then you know of that, like, you know, you need to go back and like, you know, while the other piece is drying, then you go back to it. So it's like, yeah, it's kind of like I wouldn't say it's like section, but it's not like I'm finishing one section and then going to another section. Like pretty much working the whole thing, but like, you know, like keep
In
it
pieces.
running and wait for areas to dry. If you want to add something, unless you want it to bleed. If you want it to bleed, then like hurry up and put it in while it's still wet, or like add more water. Again, what I like about this paper, that if you know it, when it's dry, so it allows for some flexibility while it's still wet. But if it's dry, then it's dry, so you can put more layers on top of it without lifting the paint. Because like some other papers, if like it may allow for like more like, you know, like do some corrections, but at the same time, like if it allows you to do corrections, it means if you apply, like if you're going to apply second layer or third layer, then you're lifting the paint from underneath. and that really messed it up. So
Great.
yeah, kind of like this paper really like it folded.